not day off in mind.
Hello there.
Mayegun la wa mo to do. Mayegun la wa mo to do.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining me from. This is Mayegun's brunch time. Thank you. Share this broadcast. For the first time in a while, you can watch me live on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, X, and Instagram. All of them at the same time on 2 devices. Hear this. You know how we do it on a normal time when we are not reading, reading the history book. It is to have a free chat on the happenings in the contraption, the Nigeria. You can be part of it too while you get on with your, daily routine. The school that Yaya Bello paid nearly $1 billion to in advance for his son's education has agreed to refund the money. There is a chance that you can actually call in. Remember that. You can call in anytime. I will be doing my own gist as usual, right? And then if you feel like you want to say something as well or contribute to this, you are welcome. Don't die in their war. Stop loving your oppressors. Stop defending them too. Motide. Sorry about that background music. That could be a little bit off or down. But thank you anyway for joining me from wherever you are joining me from. It is Mayegun's brunch time live. I don't know about you, but I want to believe that a lot of people have actually seen the receipt of school fees paid by Yaya Bello to an American international school in Abuja. $840,000 US. This is the money from the monthly allocation of Kogi people that spans 8 years of Yaya Bello's criminality. He was able to pay up to 2034 school fees of his son. But it has been discovered that the intention was not actually to pay the school fees till 2034. It is to make it a way of cleaning it, laundering the money. Okay, so the school will eventually requested for a refund, just like the EFCC requested for a refund, and they are getting it. So this morning or this afternoon, I just want to possibly try my best to see if I could paint the picture of what it actually truly means in reality, the corruption of these guys, to put it into a context where you and I can see beyond, oh, it is the normal thing in that country. Others are stealing more than that. What are they doing to them? Now, I am not here to do any comparison. I just want to focus on this amount of money that could have changed a lot of lives in Kogi State. This is not his money stolen from them. Money meant for, payment of pensions, payment of salaries, payment of contractors who are possibly doing one or two things in the states that could benefit majority of the people of the state. So they collected allocation, put it in fixed accounts, and the moment they have enough, they will call on the central bank to what? To give them dollars, and they can return the naira. And these dollars is what they kind of have to smuggle out of Nigeria. But you need to put it into a context, what it truly means. The second thing that we will be touching this morning is the confirmation from Oduduwa Emefiole. Kadobi Yemi Kadoso. Well, he has come out today to say the Central Bank of Nigeria has printed 3.8 trillion naira, and they have borrowed the Tinubu's government. You see, there is something, in case if you don't know, okay, there is something called ways and means. You see, this ways and means is a little provision in the supposed Nigeria constitution that established Central Bank of Nigeria. So ways and means is like a small loan provision for the government of Nigeria whenever they are running budget deficits. Budget deficit is simply described as where your budget or your expected total financial whatever for your budget, right? Or I want to see how I can simplify it. Okay, where the deficit comes. Okay, you see, you have a budget. Okay, budget means your plan or what you plan to spend. Now, if you have planned to spend something, you must have planned to earn something. That means you must earn before you can spend. All right. So in projecting that, okay, I'm going to earn 100 naira, I could budget to spend 90 naira and save 10 naira. But in a situation whereby I have a budget of 1,000 naira, and then my expected income is 400 naira. So that means I am short. I am short of 600 naira. That is the deficit. So I have two options. I either plan according to my income, which is 400 naira, or go borrowing. Okay, which means I could go on and still have the budget of 1,000, but I will have to look for somebody to help me fill in the gap so that I will pay back. But in this instance, it is a little bit different, okay? The deficit in this regard is different. The ways and means in their law, what it simply allows is that how much are you expecting this year to make? Or we are expecting to make $1 million or 1 billion naira. Okay, 1 billion. Right. What is your total budget? Well, our total budget is 1 billion. Okay. How much do you have right now from that 1 billion you want to spend? Let's say the first 3 months or so. How much do you think you have? Then let's say you say, oh yeah, we have 200 million. And we believe that before the year runs out, we will make that 1 billion or more. All right. So in that case, we will provide 5% of that 1 billion. That is what the law says. 5% of your total budget is what the ways and means is meant for. And that is when the central bank of the country will now say, what is the 5% of 1 billion? Oh, the 5% is 20 mil. I'm just saying, like 1% is 20 million or 50 million, 5%. Okay, 50 million of 1 billion, right? We'll give you the 50 million. That's what the law says. But in the case of Bukwari and Emefiole, they said that Nigeria, even before Civil War and after Civil War and the rest of that, right? They said from 1969, that the Central Bank of Nigeria had printed a total of 786 billion naira in their history until 2015. That's the total money that the Central Bank of Nigeria in history combined borrowed the federal government of Nigeria every time they are in deficit, even during the dark days of the military. All the looting you've seen in the past, all those, right? Those criminals of the past, none of them went on to start printing money, printing naira until Bukwari came. So when Bukwari came, listen, 40 to 50 years of the Central Bank of Nigeria history, they've only printed 786 billion naira and loaned it to government. They didn't even have to print it. It's just the money that the central bank will say, okay, we'll provide it for you. We'll give it to you. Here you get. So between 2015 and 2023, last year, Bukwari printed 27.4 trillion naira cash. Emefiole printed that and gave it to Bukwari and all the 36 state governors in Nigeria. The money is valued at $50 billion. None of them could show one single thing. They used that 27.4 trillion to do in Nigeria. The money disappeared. Part of the money is what Yaya Bello has managed to change to dollars and pay school fees of his own son up to 2034. While the workers in Kogi, pensioners in Kogi, they are your criminal leaders they are too cold. They are cold-hearted. Like it is unreal, unbelievable. So they printed 27.4 trillion. Electricity no improve. Roads did not improve. Healthcare no improvements. Education no improvements. Security no improvements. Where is $50 billion printed by Bukwari in 8 years? Gone. He has laid the precedence. Precedence is that when they do something that has never been done before and there is no consequences, Bukwari laid the precedence. He printed, for 8 years, he printed 27.4 trillion that disappeared. Now, Oduduwa Emefiole has now confirmed that the central bank under him has printed 3.8 trillion naira and gave it to Tifnumbu. Let it be on record, though. They said they have given Tifnumbu's government 3.8 trillion naira ways and means. But before now, if some of you can still remember, I was here when I did hear the thing from the grapevine, waiting then they do and what not. These guys have already printed over 7 trillion naira for Tifnumbu. Why? How did I know? How do I know that? Under Bukwari, every day, Nigeria was losing 700,000 barrels of crude oil. And automatically, Nigeria's source of dollars supply dried up because the money no longer comes to Nigeria. It goes straight into the pocket of those who sold NNPC to themselves. And they are still controlling the crude sale in Nigeria, the money from it, and they still hold they still hold the what do you call it? The power to tell you how much oil they are selling or not. So under Bokuwari, the entire reserve is dry. So Tifnumbu came in, replaced the guys with his own boys, gave them another name, and the business continues. Because up to right at this moment, if I ask you, from May 29, 2023 to 31st of March 2024, can you, in all honesty and sincerity, right now, tell me how much has Nigeria made from crude oil sale? Can you? No? They have turned the NNPC to their piggy bank. Okay? It is like a piggy bank where they can just be like, do you have money for us? In the absence of this money, just to show to you that there is no free flow of dollars into Nigeria, the easiest way, which has been the crude oil, the whole thing don't explode. So Tifnumbu's government, without going after those who have shared the Nigeria supposed national assets among themselves, decided to look the other way by going borrowing again so that you can go sorrowing. Again, no, Oduduwa Emefiole, Wale Edun, and the other rogues that are possibly telling you about your hope, your renewed shege. Maybe they didn't tell you, or maybe you know, or you never just want to really believe it. Here, you see the type of economic hardship I will keep reminding you that you are going to face in Nigeria. It has never been experienced before anywhere on this earth. These guys, due to their credibility problem, illegitimacy problem, nobody won't invest for Nigeria except people with a dark and black and blood money. I am saying this because it is true. Propaganda can make you, or let's say, you can use propaganda to, to seize power. You have to do more than propaganda to run a country. Hey, you have to do more. Now, you see this economic ruin, the pathway to total destruction, which Tifnumbu and APC, Egbekegbe represent. Many of them are in the open, others are in secret. Okay? To start with, nobody wants to invest in Nigeria genuinely. The genuine businesses in Nigeria that are not from Nigeria, they are already working on their exit plan. And this is due to two things. The first one, credibility incompetency problem of APC, Egbekegbe, the same political party that is protecting terrorists, shielding terrorists, and jailing activists. The same government that is hobnobbing with terrorists is the same government ladies and gentlemen, that is going everywhere looking for any cheap loan. It's not even cheap loan, anything at all. And they are willing and ready to what? To devalue their currency. If you tell them to jump, they will never ask you why. They will only ask you, how high. So businesses are folding up and leaving. Politicians who are stealing money, they are also mopping the entire country, and they are packing and they are leaving. Right? So, two things. So, and as much as the rogues knows that nobody is coming to invest genuinely in Nigeria, they have now opened the floodgates of mortgaging, not only the future of those of you who are here now, including those who are yet unborn. Let me tell you this, in the last 11 months alone, Tifnumbu's government, do you have Bello? So do you have a pen and paper? Because you might need to write this down, all right? In the last 11 months alone, when Tifnumbu said subsidy was gone, subsidy is gone, and he kept going about everywhere saying he took a very, very hard decision. He is lying and he is believing his own lies. Like I said, propaganda can run a country. Okay? So here, you have the pen and paper now, right? Right, start writing. Tifnumbu came in. Tifnumbu got smuggled in, or forced his way in on the 29th of May 2023. And from that time, this Tifnumbu has collected over $10 billion in loan from different fronts. And I will give you a few instances. Tifnumbu's government, at first, in their efforts to hide their fraud, decided to use the Niger Delta crude oil as a collateral for a $3.3 billion loan from an Afrexim bank and their faceless investors. And you see that $3.3 billion loan, which was to be given to them twice, $2 billion and $1.3 billion. They collected the $2 billion in September, and they are due for the $1.3 billion this month, this April that you are in. But guess what? They had to use a $12 billion worth of crude oil in Niger Delta as collateral. 167 million barrels of crude oil. Guess who facilitated that? The NNPSC and Tony Elumelu, who also got paid 5% of the loan as his own commission. So if Nigeria failed to pay back that money, which they have no plan of paying, then these faceless Afrexim investors, they will bring in their bowl. I'll be waiting the pumping machine. And they would have to come and take 167 million barrels of crude oil. Do you know their partners in all this deal? Dejitinumbu, somebody they call the tag as Tifnumbu's, adopted cousin. Dejitinumbu, Oando, and the rest of them, they are all involved. So what will happen is that this oil that they will take in Nigeria, if they don't pay back that loan, this 167 million barrels, it will be lifted and sold by Tifnumbu's associates. So that, listen to this fraud, though. They borrowed their $3.3 billion. They are using a $12 billion worth of, and in 5 years' time, if Nigeria doesn't pay back that money, okay, so these guys will now give the clearance to these Ohando and their affiliates, and they would help the Afrexim Bank, okay, to lift the 167 million barrels, and they will help them sell it. So in the deal, they said the person who brought the deal, Tony Elumelu, will collect 5% from the $12 billion. Meanwhile, they are using today's what do you call it? The cost of the barrel of crude oil. In 5 years' time, nobody knows what it's going to be like in 5 years' time. Okay, but using today's price means that 167 million barrels of crude oil will be $12 billion. Now, that $12 billion, this is how they will share it.